Hello again, this is Katrina Kramlich from Inspired Spectrums, and in this video I want to give you some tips on how to encourage communication and more clear single words from your child with autism. So the first thing that you need to do when you're working with a child with autism to help them talk is truly believe that they can and know that they really can. I know we've talked about this before, but the brain is capable of change at any age. I've seen people learn to talk at 34, so it's definitely possible at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever age you are working with, it's totally possible. I've seen it all across the realm of people learning new words and then sentences and then conversational skills. It's really possible. It's just practice and giving them opportunity and, of course, working with them when they're motivated. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to request language, but first of all, I want to talk about responding to spontaneous language, because when we respond to the language that our children are already giving us, that's the most powerful motivator that we can give them, because we're already saying, whoa, I heard you talk. I'm going to make something happen. I'm going to show you that I believe you're talking. And when your child sees that you believe that what they say is words, they're going to use those words more often. Versus if we ignore what they're saying and just say, oh, those are just, he just always says that, that's just meaningless, blah, 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 then he's going to not really believe that we believe in him, and he's not going to try to use language to communicate as much. So the first step in teaching language is showing your child that their language is powerful. So if they say heba, then you need to say, oh my goodness, you just talked to me, thank you. Celebrate that and then make something happen. Oh, maybe you wanted me to do a hop. We can hop. And don't worry so much about responding with exactly what your child was saying. Actually, it's a little bit more useful if you respond to what you think they're saying, because sometimes it takes so much for the brain to work and to respond that what they say may be very different than what they're actually looking for. So if you think your child might be actually saying eat, then go for that. But if it is helpful too to really respond precisely sometimes, because then that helps your child know what they're talking about. So anyway, the big key is if they say something, respond. So if you're in the middle of joining and your child says something, respond, get up, grab something from the shelf. Oh, is this what you wanted? Make something happen, whatever it is. If you're playing a game and they say something, definitely respond to that. Whatever it is, respond, celebrate. Make sure they know that you heard them talk and you're excited about it. Okay? This biggest technique ever. If you can respond to their spontaneous language, they're going to use it more, and that's exciting. Okay? So responding and celebrate to spontaneous language. Another thing is whenever you're playing a game with them, you are involved in something, make sure that and this is really for clear single words, if you're working on one word, you want to model that one word over and over again. So if you're playing tickle, try not to say a whole story about all this tickle, but try to use the word tickle over and over again. Tickle, tickle, tickle. When you're giving child food, just say the word eat. Eat, eat, eat as you're giving them the food. Same with drink. Try to pick, if your child is completely nonverbal, I would try to pick 10 words or so to really focus on. And make sure when you're in an interaction that those are the words that you really say most often, because like we said, they have a lot of processing delay. So you want to make that one word really obvious so they know what they should say if they want to play that game with you again. Okay? And after they get those words down, then of course you move on to 2, and then you move on to 3. So then you could model that. So then you could model tickle me please, or tickle my knee, whatever it is. You eventually can model more words, but at first when you're just working on the one word, just model that one word to make it really easy for them. Then once you're in a game and you're playing and you have them motivated, that's when you can start working on the requests. And we talked about it before, once they're highly motivated and they're asking again, then you could just say, okay, you say tickle and now I'll tickle you. But you don't have to request that every time. You can work on requests in a lot of different ways. But if you want, you could directly request from them. You could also, we talked about breaking it down, so helping them go all the way to the basics, breathing, positioning their teeth, positioning their mouth. If they're willing, you could even help touch their mouth. A lot of times kids, especially if they're having body issues, can't feel their face as much. And so sometimes if they'll let you, pushing their lips together like or ball, whatever it is, might be really helpful. Of course, you want to do that on yourself first so that they can see what's going to happen, and then you can ask to do that on them. And modeling it yourself first too, really exaggerating it. Eat, eat, so that they can really see how it works. And then telling them back what they said. So let's say, for example, that you are working on the word eat and you're saying, come on, you say eat, you say eat. And then they said, you of course celebrate, yay, that's exciting. But after a while, if they're still saying say, actually you're saying because they might not know that they're not saying the right word. So helping them understand that they're not saying it right after you've been celebrating a lot can be helpful for them. And also eventually starting to play dumb if it's words that you've been working on for a while and they can say it, them playing dumb a little bit when they say the then not getting them to eat, then saying, oh, maybe you wanted an ant or something else. I don't know. But playing dumb can really work well when you're learning new words, because then it really gives a child, it really helps them understand that what they're saying is not what you're looking for, even though, they'll keep working on it. So then the more you play dumb, the more they will have to work on it for themselves. Writing it down can be really helpful for a lot of kids, even if you don't think they can read. Just having the visual components can be a really nice indirect way to work on a word. So writing it down, if you have like a little whiteboard you can carry around with you, or even if it's just a piece of paper and you write it down with a marker and you write down the word eat, and then that way use lowercase block letters because that's easier to read. And put it where, like say if you're going to do eat, you put it up by their snack, or if you're going to, you be squeezing them, then you could just write it near you, and then every time you could just point to that word. So it kind of does a double thing, because it also helps the child learn how to read. If they don't know how to read, they're going to then learn. But it's also a really nice indirect way to work on something, and it works pretty well actually. A lot of times just pointing to that word will help a child talk without you having to say it. And celebrate, again, celebrating is as much as possible any attempt that they're doing at communicating, whether it's spontaneous or requested. We want to just keep cheering them on and keep having fun with that. So responding quickly, celebrating.